We have Dr. Jerry Igwilo. He's the Chief Executive Officer of the Stellar Capital Limited, joining us. Dr. Igwilo, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Annie, and good morning to the viewers.
Yeah, I wonder, are you expecting a peace talk results at the end of this weekend with this new strike that we have seen at the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, there was a timeline that has been set for the peace talks to go through the peace talk, which is about 60 days. So, of course, these are early days. We've seen, but more importantly, what we've seen is that there is an agreement to start doing something, which is to open up the Strait of Hormuz. Unfortunately, we have seen disagreements in the negotiation processes, and that is what is emanating with this strike, with all the disruption we have seen. But most importantly, the peace mutual memorandum that was signed says there is a ceasefire, and the ceasefire continues. And of course, we believe that given the circumstances, what has happened will be resolved quite quickly. Yes.
So, so we still stay optimistic, yeah?
Yes, but I mean, I think at this point we are tired of the
we are tired of the
So now we have to continue to be optimistic, but cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, but I don't think the price of oil is being cautious about that optimism, because I mean, if you look at Brent here, it's down almost 2%, 1.93%, and WTI is down even more than 2%. We're down to $73. Yes. You know, so it looks like everybody is like, this has to work or nothing. But what if it doesn't work?
Well, I believe that the question that you've just asked is the biggest question. What if it doesn't work? Now, I think where we have all gotten to, even between the US, Iran, and the global economic environment, is that everyone believes that this must work. Now, the global reserve is running out. Most of the countries, as you know, they dump their reserve into the global economy, into the global market to suppress the price of crude. We saw the price of crude going up almost $120 per barrel, and it's beginning to come down. Everybody is tired of this, you know.
Is President Trump tired yet?
I believe he is, because
I mean, inflation is also eating it up in the United States.
Yes, of course.
They have 3 consecutive increases now.
Yes, of course. The point is that he has an election coming in November, a midterm election coming in November. The price of gas in the US is almost, in some places, above $6 a gallon. Now, that is what the people feel, as we also feel it here. Once the price of petrol goes up, you know how we all feel, especially the motorists and even all the commuters, we feel it immediately in our pocket. So the US citizens are feeling it, and I believe that he's listening to them, and he will find a way to make sure that you know, we have a better global geopolitical environment. So
how all of this, how does it play out, you know, here in Nigeria, our economy? We know that there's been an announcement by Dangote about reduction in the price of petrol. We're trying to make others also reduce, because when the price was going up, they were quick to increase and all of that, but it's not so easy to reduce. But how is all of this affecting us as consumers, government revenue, you know, back here in Nigeria?
Yes, so for me, really, the conversation around the challenge we are having between the US and Iran in the Middle East, it's no longer about whether there's peace or not. It's what next? What next for Nigerian economy? What next for Nigerians ourselves? And what next for our pockets? Now, let's look at the crude prices. We have seen significant decrease in crude prices in the recent times. The crude price has come down significantly from the prices that they hit during the peak of this crisis. Now, how does that affect us? We begin to see reduction in petrol price already, right? And which means that we begin to see some ease in our pockets when we buy petrol in the pumps, right? Of course, our inflation figure still remains a little bit elevated, and then it's a transmission. And
S&P Global is telling us it's going to stay that way for a bit.
Yes, it's going to, because if you remember correctly, before the war started, our food price inflation was already going up before the crisis started. And now with the crisis, it's also exacerbated with the cost of transportation, cost of logistics, of moving food items around in the country. That adds to the inflation.
Adding to our insecurity challenge, which is the reality also affecting food and
food production. Yes, yeah. It affects food production, and of course, if you add all those into play, then you begin to think that the reduction in crude pricing only might not be enough to significant impact on the inflation rate immediately. However, if the peace plans is sustained, we hope that the food prices continue to remain quite stable, going down towards at least $65 so that we can cushion our, the benchmark we have for our budget, so that we are not also under the,
we're also looking at government revenue. Yes. The government has been enjoying since the war started. It's time for them to cut out some of those gains.
Well, I wouldn't say enjoying that way.
How did they getting more money from?
Of course, there's more revenue for the fiscals. However, there's more challenges that we need to fix. So it means that we have more foreign reserve to be able to
cushion our do have our foreign reserve has released up.
So
more than 50 now.
Yes, that then have to give us the opportunity to begin to look at the Naira. How strong is the Naira? The Naira already also is still in that space where we're beginning to see a lot of confidence coming into it, but how sustainable is that? So that is what that cushion would do for us, but we need it to be sustainable over a long period so that then our people can begin to enjoy the benefit of the peace we're experiencing in global geopolitics.
The message in Nigeria now is that there's been recovery, let's sustain it and let's get to growth. I think that's the story with Nigeria's economy, because last year we celebrated macroeconomic data, but we haven't seen it in the micro, so that's what we're waiting for. All right, thank you so much, Dr. Igwilo, for joining us this morning. Dr. Jerry Igwilo, the Chief Executive Officer of the Senate Capital Limited. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you for having me once again. Have a great day.
You too.